What's going on, man? This is solely just for me to vibe out.
Ah, 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 ah. Otros 11 bonitas que veo en San Juan.
Yes, sir.
Disfrutando de todas esas cosas que extrañan los que se van.
I know y'all seen it last
Disfrutando de
night.
noches de esas que ya no se dan. Que ya no se dan. Pero queriendo volver a la última vez. Y a
What a
los ojos
great
te
game.
miré. Y contarte
Fabulous
las cosas
game.
que no te conté.
But the highlight,
Y tirarte
point
la
blank
foto que
period,
no te
was
tiré.
the halftime show.
Ey, tengo el pecho pelado, me dio una mata. El corazón dándome pata. Dime, baby, ¿dónde tú estás? Pa' llegarle con Roro, Julito, Cristal, Roy, Edgar, Seba, Oscar, Darnell y Big J tocando bata. Hoy la calle la dejamos es barata. Y sería cabrón que tú me toques el guiro. Yo veo
Listen,
tu nombre y me
I know a lot
sale
of people don't care for it.
No
A
sé
lot
si
of
son
people don't like it.
petardos o si son
That's your
tiros.
problem.
Mi blanquita, perico, mi kilo. Yo
I
estoy en
can't fix
PR
that for you.
tranquilo. Pero
I can't tell you what to do or what to
debí
like.
tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve. Debí darte
But
más
this right
besos
here,
y abrazo las
whew,
veces que pude. Ey,
it's
ojalá
Monday.
que los míos nunca se muden.
I
Y
love
si él me
Mondays.
emborracha, pues que me ayuden. De cuando te tuve. Debí darte más besos.
Okay. That's enough. That's enough. I could jam out to that for a good hour. Listen, shout out to everybody that's having a good day on a Monday right now, baby. It's Monday. I love Mondays. The beginning of the week, get your day started, get your week started. Started on a good note, you finish strong. Definitely got some good news today. We'll get into that in a minute. But for right now, you know we're going to talk about it. Now, one thing I do got to say, and I got to put this out here. This is not a political platform. This is not a political channel. I do not get into politics too tough. I continue to remain unbiased. There are no biased standpoints over here. We just talk about facts and opinions and feelings and all of that. We just have conversation like regular people should. So let's make that real clear. Now, moving forward, did you see the halftime show? My man, what's going on? Houston is always in the house, yo. Big love to Texas. Big shout out to Texas. Big love to Texas, man. Um, I gotta come out there one day. Even if it's just to visit one of those HEB stores, bro. Even if it's just to visit one of those HEB stores, I gotta come out to Texas. I have to. I've heard so much about those brisket sandwiches and whatnot. Like, listen, I got Publix. We have Publix out here, and you cannot beat a Publix sub. I don't care where you go to get your sandwich, unless you go into New York to an Italian deli or something like that. You're not gonna get a better sub than Publix. You're not. You can fight me if you want to in the comments, whatever. It's not gonna happen. But but last night was Super Bowl 60. Man, did y'all see that game? Did y'all see that game? Shout out to Queens, man. Shout out to Queens in the building. We love to see it. Super Bowl 60 was a tragic freaking game. It felt like I was watching like a college game. I'm not gonna lie. I like college football, but it's the amount of no, let me take that back. Let me take that back. College ball players play with real heart. College ball players play like they got something to lose. I felt like I was watching a scrimmage. That's what it felt like. Shout out to the New York people, man. Thank you for checking in. Wherever you are, wherever you're at, I appreciate you for coming through. Last night I felt like I was watching a scrimmage. I don't even know the young boy's name. The quarterback for the Patriots looked soft. He did not have, and this is the only person I can compare it to, that Tom Brady look in his eye. Okay? He did not have that look in his eye. He did not even Peyton Manning that look, that Michael Vick look in your eye when it's time to play ball. And you know everything is on the line and you gotta win. He just didn't have that look in his eye, bro. Every time the Seahawks defense broke through that offensive line, he looked worse and worse and worse. And of course, as the quarterback, it's your job to make everyone look good. But when you look bad, just you, it's no one else's fault but you. You look bad. So he didn't cut, he didn't scramble, he didn't get out of the pocket, he didn't have situational awareness. All these things that he didn't have, they're going to blame him. I do want to say he did give it a good try. He gave it his best, but he was outperformed. And it wasn't just him, it was a team effort. It was a team effort. I grew up playing football. I grew up playing some sort of sports. When you are part of a team, you win as a team, you lose as a team. I do not believe that they gave him that type of grace. They made it his fault. And of course, we're here talking about it, but he just didn't have that look in his eye. And he had that captain. He had that captain's badge on. Okay. It takes a lot to earn that badge. They don't just give it to you. There's a lot of quarterbacks who don't have the captain's badge. You're supposed to be a leader, man, and he didn't do it. He didn't do it last night. So the Seahawks won. The score was a whole lot to a little. I think it ended up being, what did it end up being? Like 21 to something. Let me see. I think I spelled that all wrong. The ending score was 29 to 13, and they didn't start scoring until damn near fourth quarter. Okay, first two quarters was a wash. They was getting whooped. I mean, BTA. They was getting wore out. But lo and behold, the best part of the entire game was the halftime show. If you tuned in for the live, thank you. The live should still be up. They said it's not going to show in a few countries, a few territories, which is cool. But you should be able to at least go and watch the live if you get to the channel. You should be able to view the live. It'll be up for a little while. I'll leave that up. I had a blast, bro. I had a blast. See me, I grew up in New York. I've been to Puerto Rican Day parades. I've been to the West Indies Day parades. Okay. I got a love for the people. I got love for the people. What's going on, man? I have love for the people all over. And watching Bad Bunny, who I've been listening to his music for a while. I don't know a lick of Spanish like that. I don't. I do not. Now, it's crazy because in the kitchen I work alongside a lot of Hispanic people, people of all different descents. Um, and I can understand certain things that they're saying because I've heard it over and over again in the kitchen. But when they're just having regular conversation, I am lost. I do not know what is going on. I'm lost a lot of the time. But last night, it just I just felt so good watching that performance. He had everything from Puerto Rican culture in the middle of a football field. Everything, bro. Everything. He had the sugar canes. He had the folks with the straw hats. He had the vendors selling the cocoa. He had everything, bro. And the thing about a lot of people don't know, 10 years ago, Bad Bunny was a freaking store clerk in a supermarket in Puerto Rico, I believe. Or it was New York. It was one of them. New York or Puerto Rico. He was a store clerk. See what I'm saying? So a lot of folks plain outright simply just didn't like it because they believe he's not a US citizen. He's definitely a US citizen. Puerto Rico is an American territory. I mean, people like to debate facts and talk about facts. Puerto Rico is part of the reason why we have 51 states. Uh-oh, sorry. Hope I didn't burst anybody's bubble there. Um, Puerto Rico is a big part of that. And watching that performance was amazing. One of the best performances I've seen at halftime. And what I'm gonna tell you is this. Kendrick Lamar performed last year, right? Kendrick Lamar performed his greatest hit. He was in beef with Drake. Everybody was loving Kendrick. Kendrick. Everybody was rooting for Kendrick. Kendrick's entire performance, for the most part, was his tribute to American culture and his music. He had Serena Williams crip walking, or she did that. I don't know who told her to do that. It was the worst thing I ever saw. But he had small representations of his culture. The street light, standing in the street light, everybody over there doing their thing. There was a lot that was going on in his performances that black culture was not on the main display. But this performance last night, it was purely Puerto Rican Hispanic culture. That's it. You had Lady Gaga come out and perform. You had Ricky Martin. Ricky freaking Martin showed up. Ricky Martin. Who would have thought that Ricky Martin would have showed up? Jessica Alba was over there performing. We all know Cardi B was there. Her boyfriend, baby daddy, Stefan Diggs, was on the losing side. And apparently they broke up. But we'll talk about that later. Bad Bunny had so many people that America knows and loves. America. We've accepted Ricky Martin. We've accepted Lady Gaga. We've accepted Jessica Alba. All these people have Hispanic descent. Is it because they conformed to be a little bit more adaptable and able to, speak and do things and be out here? Is it because they are easily digestible for the masses is why they're accepted? I mean, what else could it be? What else could it be? He's achieved greatness, he's done great things, and he continues to be true to himself. Not saying that they're not. I would love to speak a second language fluently. I would love to have a broader expression that I can express myself through, right? Because some people would say, why am I wearing a anime shirt? I'm a black guy. I'm a grown man. I shouldn't watch anime, but I have, and I do. It has nothing to do with my color. It has everything to do with things I like and the things I enjoy. Bad Bunny enjoys making good music, and he did that for the world, for about 135 million people, roughly. Those numbers, I don't always know where they get these statistics from, where they get these numbers from, but they said about 135 million people tuned in, and I was one of them. And if you watched the live, you was one of them too. I woke up this morning to so many people being upset about Bad Bunny's performance, about him just being there and performing, not the songs he performed, not anything he was saying. It was just him being there was enough to piss people off. That's wild. That is wild to me. Um, and yes, I felt like it was important for us to talk about it because I have like friends who are Hispanic. I have friends who don't speak clear English, but when we talk, we can communicate. I have people I know in my family who have a Spanish background. Why would I hate that? Why would I hate that? You know what I hate? I hate that I don't know Spanish. That's what I hate. I hate that I can't speak fluently. That's what I hate. But I don't hate them simply because they can. I don't hate them because they cook differently and they have different recipes. I don't have any hate in my heart for other people. All people were created by one person, and that allows us to enjoy each other differently, learn things, become better than what we were before. You never know what you can learn when you open your eyes. That Super Bowl was amazing. Definitely had to talk about that. Now, Moving on. In other news, they're saying that as soon as the Super Bowl was over, Stefon Diggs and Cardi B unfollowed each other and are no longer a couple. Are you surprised? See, I'll talk about whatever we can. Um, and that's just a topic that I feel everyone was blowing up Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. If you were listening, I guess. Like that's one of those headlines that they kept pushing out there. Stefon Diggs, Cardi B is constantly popping up. This is important. That's what they're telling you. When you constantly see the same narrative popping up from different places, they're trying to push something. So they said that was important. Don't know why, but it's weird to see, right? It's weird to see. There's so many other players on the team, so many other people you could tune into, so much other stuff going on, and they decide to pick Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. Not a great example. Not a great example. Not for people who look like me, especially. Like I do not think that is a great example for black culture. And Cardi B is I want to say she's Dominican or Puerto Rican. No worries, bro. Do your thing. Um, I want to say Cardi B is Dominican. So you get to this point to where I don't know. I don't know. Like how do you feel about someone telling you not to like someone else? How does that make you feel? Do you create your own thought of, well, that just doesn't make sense? Or do you follow what they say? And if you like the person, right, the person who's saying these things to you, if you like that person for one reason or another, you're more inclined to just do what they say. You are. You are. No matter who that person is. You like this person, if they told you to eat Cheerios, you'd eat Cheerios, even if you don't like Cheerios. But they said they like Cheerios and you want to be more like them or you want to identify with them, so you're going to eat Cheerios. It's a pretty basic example, but I'm pretty sure you get the gist. Be a free, independent thinker. I guess that's really what I'm saying. That's really what I'm saying, bro. Be a free, independent thinker. Um, let's see what else happened. It's Monday. I got good news. I got good news. Her dad is Dominican. Her mom is from Trinidad. See? Like right there. Bro, I miss yo. I have a picture of me at a West Indies Day parade a long time ago, holding up a Jamaican flag. Ask me, am I Jamaican? Ask me. Go ahead, ask me. Nope, I'm not. Not Jamaican. I'm not. But in order to have fun and show support and show respect for everything, I grabbed a flag that was the cheapest that day. It was a huge one too. That thing was big. And we had fun in the streets of New York, walking down Brooklyn. Had the time of my life, yo. And if you've never been, you've never seen, some people see it on TV, some people watch it. Some people have no idea what I'm talking about. Go to one. They have West Indian carnivals in Florida and New York. I think they have one in California, and then of course in the West Indies. But go to one. Go to one. They had a carnival down here. They have like a festival down here. It's not as big, but it's kind of cool. Experience other cultures. If you the greatest thing about the United States of America, if you cannot travel outside of the United States of America, you can still experience other cultures here in the United States of America. That's one of the greatest things. To me, that's one of the greatest things. Hundreds of different cultures, hundreds of different nationalities and ways of being and food. Oh my God, the food. Oh my God, the freaking food. It's so much good food out there coming from different people. And you just want to stick to egg sandwiches. You just want to stick to a freaking I'm gonna say a public sub, but I think I'll always go for a public sub. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like Don't be so close-minded. I don't know. Oh man. Oh, I got good news too. Somebody hit me up about a job. Yeah. So the boy's gonna be back working real soon, which means things will change up for the show, right? Right now, the show is every day, Monday through Friday at 12. That is what we do. That's what we've been doing. Moving forward, this interview isn't until the 17th. So moving forward, we may have to change times. We may break it down to maybe 2 or 3 times a week, but we will continue to check in and have these live conversations. Yes, we will. Um, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who's been tuning in, bro. Um, it shows me a lot. It shows me that I am doing better than I thought, and I'm not giving myself enough credit. But I gotta thank you guys. Gotta thank you guys. People who tune in, even if you pop in once a week, even if you just watch one video, every bit of support helps, and it continues to grow. I see the numbers. The channel has about 4.5 million views to the channel since it's opened. That's a lot. Just about 33.8 thousand subscribers. That is a stadium full of people. Ha! You know what? Thank you. I mean, thank you. I've always saw myself as such. I used to want to be an actor. I used to want to be a comedian. I wanted to do all these things that basically would put a smile on people's faces. That was my goal. To see people happy is a very big thing for me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, bro. Honestly, I appreciate that. I honestly appreciate that. To make people happy has always been a good and a bad thing for me. It wasn't until recently, honestly, my last relationship that I realized that part of wanting to make people happy can be used against me. Um, and in such a way where I'm more focused on out, other people's happiness than my own. I've done a lot of revamping. I've done a lot of growing, and I've gotten way closer to God. But my dependency is now on one person and one person only. And because of that, I'm allowed to be great. I'm allowed to be entertaining. I'm allowed to speak from a place of love because I have zero hate in my heart. I think people come to this channel who've never heard me, never seen me. They might have seen a couple of videos and things like that, and then they hear me talk, and immediately I don't say the things that they agree with. So in turn, I have to be against them. But I welcome conversation all the time. I welcome conversation. What I'm about to say is probably not going to go well with a lot of people, and that's okay. Charlie Kirk is one of those people who welcome conversation. Some people would say he picked fights with people who couldn't, fight back intellectually and all these things. But if you have a disagreement or you have a thought and a feeling and someone doesn't agree with you, it is okay to have a conversation. Was he always prepared? Yes, the man was stacked with knowledge, but he didn't belittle the other person. He speaks directly, so it kind of can be taken offensively, but you open the door for conversations to be had. And it's just to say, well, you don't agree with me for this reason, you don't agree with me for that reason. Here's why, blah, blah, blah. What happened to having friendly conversations or friendly debates? What happened to that? What happened to being able to disagree amicably? That's a hard word to say. Amicably. What happened to that? Now it's either you're on my side or you're against me. Ooh, isn't that tough? Isn't that tough? That's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to live like that. Right? It's got to be tough to live like that. Because that means anyone that doesn't feed into you, feed into your thoughts, feed into the way you feel and the way you think, you automatically hate them or have an extreme dislike. I'm not going to say hate because that's a very strong word, but a very strong dislike for that person. So much so, you keep that with you. Bingo, buddy. See, I remember having that conversation while he was alive. When I first found out about the Turning Point USA and all that, I've watched a couple of his videos. I've seen his stuff, and I used to have conversations at work in the kitchen. And for people who've never worked in a kitchen is a melting pot of every walk of life that you could think of. You have like highbrow people working in the kitchen. You got people who come from nothing, whatever. We would have conversations, and they would ask me, why do I agree with him? Or why do I even watch him? Why do I give him the time of day? And it's simply because he is willing to have those conversations with people, not just say, I want you to agree with me, or I think I'm right and you're wrong. He wouldn't do that. What he would say is, this is a topic. This is how I feel about the topic. How do you feel? What are your thoughts? They would say their part, they would say their piece, and what he would do is simply, and nobody likes this. No one likes this, but it's okay. What I hear is this. I'm taking your information in, I'm digesting it, and what about this? Or did you ever think of this? Or have you heard this? And he's giving them points for them to think about. Now, if all you want is for somebody to agree with you, somebody who does that is not going to make you feel good. You're going to feel like they're picking on you. You're going to feel like they're coming at you. You're going to feel some type of way. You are. So what? Your feelings are not the only thing that matters. Facts are important. And we're in a world now where feelings seem to dictate everything. Oh, it's crazy. Feelings dictate everything. But people are really good at it. They've gotten really, really good at it. They've gotten really good at disguising their feelings behind inflated facts. A lot of is false. A lot of things are wrong. But no one's checking the facts. If it sounds good, it's given in a good way, people gonna go for it. I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. Um, And I bring up the Charlie Kirk because Turning Point USA had an alternative halftime. They had an alternative halftime. And basically, they kept saying that this is the American halftime. What's more American than freaking football? Well, baseball. That's the number one, American sport. But what's more American than freaking football? And so it felt like, and this is what I'm just saying, this is what it felt like. It felt like they were saying, if you don't identify as an American citizen and you don't identify as a Christian, if you don't identify as those things, the show is not for you. If you do feel like you are a Christian, if you do feel like you are an American citizen, and you believe in everything that's all righteous and good, then you will tune into this show. For lack of a better word or words, that's what they were saying. And I actually made a video this morning um, from Fox News and Friends. They were talking about it. And that's what she said. She said this is an American show for Christians. I'm paraphrasing here. For legal purposes, I am telling you I'm paraphrasing right now. You don't want to ever feel like that. I don't ever want somebody to make me feel like, Well, if you don't do this, you're not cool. You know how high school that is? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when people say, well, you don't wear your pants with a sag, so you're not the cool guy. Or you don't chew what's that skull? You don't chew skull, so you're not a true redneck. Like what type of crap is that? I don't know. I don't know if this is the actual first time that they've done something like this because I feel like it's not. How can it be? You know how many people don't like Kendrick Lamar? What about when Prince, y'all remember Prince, right? Y'all remember Prince? Please tell me that there are grown-ups here who remember Prince. Prince was one of those ambiguous dudes. You didn't know if he liked boys or girls, but you seen him with assless chaps, and no one bats an eye. There was people who was upset, but he still performed at the Super Bowl. Or do we not remember that? Y'all remember that though, right? I think I do. I feel like I do. Did they have a separate halftime show then? I don't know. I don't remember. I would have to look it up. But that's crazy. That's crazy to me, right? That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Exactly. Y'all remember that. You remember Prince. Y'all remember that. Did they have a second halftime show then? Mm, mm. I mean, all I can say is when it comes to everything that is going on in the United States of America, first off, it's been a temperature check. It's been a temperature check for the past, I'll say 10 years, maybe 15 years. It's been a lot longer. I'm 37 years old. So they could have been checking the temp of the common man for a while. But the type of people we have now, very docile. The type of people in the United States are very docile. You say one thing, you really do. Oh, I'll never go for that. I could have never been back in the old days. I'd never go. You sure about that? Because we let a lot of things just go real easy, especially when it doesn't bother us. I still go to work. I still make my money. I still have my wife and kids. I got my dog. I have my own little bubble to worry about. That's all I worry about. And as long as that's okay, I'm okay. There once was a time when that's not how things were. Y'all remember the Boston Tea Party? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Boston Tea Party? Or at least them telling us that that happened? Y'all remember that? Like, they put a tax on people. The people said this is not cool. And because of that, the people rebelled. Plain and simple. There's nothing else to say about it. That's what happened. They didn't like what was going on and they said something about it through more than protests. They actually made them make changes. Bro, listen. Yo, oh my God, listen. Okay. This is, I've been called a conspiracy theorist before, right? But I'm gonna say this when it comes to the whole COVID thing, I myself, I just knew that's what it was. I knew that's what it was. Oh, I knew that's what it was. Because of that, I worked three jobs during COVID, right? Like when everyone else was being told to stay indoors and everyone else was like, don't go outside and that, whatever, bro. I got, I'm still doing what I have to do in order to live. But COVID was the biggest test. And yes, COVID went around the world, right? It was a worldwide thing. I'm saying worldwide because we heard about it going around the world. We heard about it. We heard about it. Mm, that's about it. They wanted to see just how many people will listen, not fight back. Who cares if you're upset? You'll probably get mad, you'll yell, you'll do these things, but you're upset. You're upset. That's about it though. You're not going to do anything. You're going to be upset. You're going to make videos, you're going to talk about it with your friends, you're going to do all these other things, but you're just upset. That was the biggest check. Oh, we got it. All we got to do is tell them to stay inside. Once that happened, once COVID passed, once COVID happened, bro, I remember that. Oh my God, you remember that? The unvaccinated versus the vaccinated? Oh my God. That was the first line of people are separating themselves. Get away from me. You're not vaccinated. Oh no, you're not vaccinated. Please stay away. 6 feet, please. Y'all remember that? Dude, this is crazy. You know what? So during COVID, there was a restaurant that opened, and you probably seen me wear the shirt, wear the hat. There was a restaurant that was open. It was called Lazy Dog. And when the restaurant opened, the very first like week or 2 weeks of the restaurant being open, they wanted us to wear masks in the kitchen. If you've never worked in a kitchen, try working in a kitchen with a covering on your face. You will pass the hell out. They probably kept that up for like a week or two. After the first 2 weeks, they were like, okay, if you want to wear a mask, you can. It was entirely up to us on what we wanted to do. They told us what we should have done, but it was entirely up to us to what we wanted to do. And most people just fell up under it. So the FCN team believes COVID to kill the poor. You know what? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about that. Other than there is a thing that is the thing, right? That's a thing. That's a thing, bro. It's a thing. Trimming the fat. That's the terms when you're in the kitchen. When you are butchering a cow carcass or a pig carcass, a carcass of any kind, you have to get rid of the parts that you're not going to use that are actually useless. You have to get rid of those. You have to. And what you do is you trim it off. You just cut it off, you throw it away. Some people might use it for something else. You can make stocks. A lot of people make stocks from trimmings and things like that. Salmon trimmings, you can make like salmon tacos. I do that all the time. Like you can use those trimmings, but you discard them mostly. That's what happens. When yeah, yeah. When they did that, when they let loose what they let loose, it did. All of a sudden, people were dropping, bro. People were dropping, and you don't hear about it anymore. What happened to that? If it was such a epidemic, wouldn't it still be lingering? Because once COVID popped up, what happened to the flu? What happened to the flu? When COVID popped up, like right before COVID popped up, people would say, "Oh, I got the flu." Y'all remember the flu used to be a thing? They used to be around. People would get the flu. And you could die from the flu. You could. That was a real thing. You could die from the flu. They had walk-in pneumonia, things like that. You could pass away from these things. I just said, and this is me, this is what I said. They took the flu and they vamped it up. They took the flu and they vamped it up. They gave it a new name. They caused mass hysteria and they let it out. That is me being the crazy conspiracy theorist, right? Because that was the only thing that kind of made sense to me. That was the only thing that made sense. No one gets the flu anymore. There are no more. Every symptom that was supposed to be a symptom for COVID was a flu-like symptom. It just doesn't happen anymore. It just doesn't happen anymore. We got way off topic with that, bro. I'm talking about we went way off topic with that. The COVID was a wild time. But I do, and I'm saying this because I believe this, and I don't have a lot of proof to back me up. I don't have a lot of evidence other than the things that are going on now that that was just a temperature check for the people. You know what? You know what I've always said about that, about the foil hats and all of that? As much as I talk about things, why is it when I say anything like that, it's a problem? But when I say I need healthcare or I need a way to make more money or better living, like when I'm asking for help, those go unheard. But the other things are heard, which means you hear me and you choose what's important to you. So in that case, if anything happens or, anybody knocks on the door and says something, I can at least stand behind the things that I've said. I can do that. I can stand behind the things that I've said because I also know that I've asked for help and that didn't come. So you hear what you want to hear, I guess. They hear what they want to hear. Now you can't fight a ghost. You can't fight a ghost. He said, "Get the foil hat." That's so funny. I the way this mind up here has always worked has been different. Um, y'all have heard me say it a bunch of times. I didn't have the medications and things like that. Like I was diagnosed with bipolar back in like 2009. I was diagnosed with that bipolar and like manic depression, right? It can get bad. It can get real bad, like really big highs, really big lows. Um, they gave me medicine for a little while. I didn't like it and I stopped using it and I self-medicated with marijuana for years. That was my medicine, marijuana. When I would feel something, I'd feel a little off, I'd feel way too low or way too high, whatever. In order to balance me out, I would smoke. I don't smoke anymore, but those times showed me that it's within me. And although I have a lot going on up here and a lot going on in here, I had to stabilize myself. Um, yeah, that's funny. That is funny. That's funny. Bro, you're a funny dude. That's funny. Because that's exactly what it's like. That's exactly what it like. But I had to stabilize myself. That's what it was. I had to stabilize myself. And I was praying regularly. Okay. Let's not get it confused. I'm not a new Christian. Okay. I didn't just all of a sudden wake up and say, all right, cool, I believe in God. It's always been a belief. But life is a business, mind your own. I like that. I've always had to work to be better. I constantly had to work to be better. I constantly had to. I could not, I didn't have the opportunity to say and blame anything on anyone but myself. Today's world is different. And I hear it a lot amongst young people and older people. Um, my feelings, or I've seen people get arrested. You've watched my police arrest video or police now, police release, I think that's the name of it. A lot of people are like, I'm feeling. No one cares how you're feeling in a certain situation. I'm feeling. No one cares. No one cares. What you have to do is be able to be a good citizen. Are you able to be a part of society? See, when you get arrested and you go to prison, not jail, because those are two different things. You go to prison and you have a parole hearing. The point of the parole hearing is these people that you're talking to are trying to see if you now are rehabilitated and can become a part of society as a whole. Like, can you be out in the world and know how to function, know how to be a good citizen, a good human being? Can you do that? Because you messed it up the first time. Are you now rehabilitated and can you do that? That's their job. That's the parole board. So they look at everything you've done, especially while you're in jail, and everything you've done out of jail. So before you went to prison, your life sucked. You wasn't doing anything. You go to prison, your rap sheet gets longer. You went to prison because you stole a car. But while you were in prison, you're fighting, you're getting caught with contraband. You may have assaulted an officer. Like things keep happening while you're in prison. So they're gonna look at this and say, well, no, sir, you are not gonna make parole. Because you don't know how to act in here. What makes you think we're gonna let you back out to the world? It does make a lot of sense. When I was younger, he said everything is your own fault. And when I was younger and people would say that to me, I would get pissed. I would get pissed because I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. I want things to be better. I want this, that, and the third. And such did this, or so and so did this, and that, da 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 da. Like, it took me a long time, bro. I'm telling y'all, I'm 37, bro. I just turned 37. It took me a long time to realize it is literally my fault. I have the free will to do as I please. I have the free will to do as I please. So either I can make the right choice or I can make the wrong choice, but that's it. There's a right and a wrong way. When I was in high school, I had a Omega Psi substitute teacher. I had a substitute teacher for my SCAD class, and he was a uh, fraternity guy. He was a young guy, but he was in a fraternity. And what he said was, there is a right and a wrong way to do everything. And that stuck with me for life. There is a right and a wrong way to do everything. And that's true. And it's essentially the same thing. Everything is your own fault because there is a right and a wrong way to do everything. It's a right way to clean your kitchen. It's a right way to fold your clothes, wash clothes, put your clothes away. If you wash your clothes and you throw them to the side, throw them on the bed, throw them on the chair, is that right? You believe because you washed them, it's right. But you didn't fold them and put them away. That's right. It's a right and a wrong way to do everything. And some people, they want to give themselves the little congratulations just because they attempted or they took the first step and they didn't follow through. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. When there is a right and a wrong way to do everything, make sure you're doing it the right way. Because no wrong can come your way. No one can say anything to you. That's what I realized as far as, especially in the kitchen. Ooh, in the kitchen is crazy. In the kitchen, I'm one of the hardest workers in the kitchen because there's a right way to do everything in the kitchen. That's how I got to the level I got to in the kitchen. There is one right way to do everything in the kitchen. And if you do everything the right way, you don't have to worry about anything. No one can say anything to you. Your boss can't be mad at you. You don't got to worry about pests and things like that. You don't have to worry about not having food ready and not being prepared because you've done everything the right way. There's no such thing as perfect, but you can do things the right way. That's fine, bro. As long as you being meticulous is you leading things to get done the proper way. I was called meticulous for a long time. I was told I had OCD. I was told I was anal retentive. All these bad terminologies, all these bad words. Um, all these bad words, that's what they used to say. And I had to really stop and think about it. The American language is amazing, right? Because just for a quick example, follow me real quick. Kobe Bryant. We love Kobe. I love Kobe. Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Whoever you want to pick, pick them. A great athlete. Some people will say he is arrogant and cocky, self centered, even. Other people will say he is determined, driven. Those are two separate words to describe the one man and how he is. Whichever word you want to pick helps your narrative of that person. Whichever word you choose helps your narrative of that person. Doesn't mean it's true, does not mean that's exactly the way they are, but it helps you in the things you're saying. So, if you don't agree with someone, you can find they have beautiful 10-letter words for you to disagree with somebody. They do. Hey, Nicole, they have beautiful 10-letter words for you to disagree with somebody and to make it sound really good. Obnoxious. That's a big one. Arrogance. We have that. What's another good one? To describe someone who is driven, who has tunnel vision for success. You see how those words sound better? The English language is amazing. It's crazy. And that's why, it's also why, as far as learning English, anybody who has parents who don't speak English as a first language, ask them how hard it was to try to just learn how to speak English. Because there's five different ways to say one thing. Because it's all about what narrative you're trying to spin. Damn right. Damn right, bro. You gotta work for it. Work for it. And for me, I'm teaching my son this now, but things that you work for, when you work for something and you grind it out for something and you eventually get that something, it feels so much better. So much freaking better, bro. So much better. I'm telling you, it feels so much better. I've uh I've put in work. I've put in work, hyper focused. Like y'all are, I have put in work hoping that someone would see the hard work that I'm putting in and hoping that they would say, good job, hoping that they would realize that I'm doing all of these things. Once I stopped looking for them to realize it, they had no choice but to see it because I no longer was waiting for them to tell me I'm doing great. I just kept doing it. I kept coming to work with a great attitude. I kept being the source of light and energy on those bad days. And on my bad days, you couldn't tell I was having a bad day. I kept doing that. And no, it's not easy. Let me be the first person to tell you it's not easy, but it's because I want to be better. I constantly want to be better. Constantly. I want to do better. I constantly want to do better. It's not a chasing perfection necessarily, but if I feel as though I can do better, I'm going to push for it. Oh man, that live last time I did a live was it kind of sucked. I really wasn't talking about nothing. We didn't, I didn't have anything to show to people. I wasn't engaging enough. How can I do better? Oh, that dinner I made last night was way off. I seasoned it wrong. The meat didn't taste that good, but the sauce was okay. How can I do better? Work for your grub, man. Damn right. Appreciate that, man. Like, how can you, and this is just something I want you guys to think about for yourself. For the rest of the day, for the rest of the week, we'll check in Friday maybe and see where you're at. But what is one thing, just one thing that you feel like you can be better on? It doesn't matter what it is. You washed your clothes and you didn't fold them up when they came out of the dryer and you didn't put them away. You could be better. You washed the dishes, and you set them in the rack to dry out instead of getting a towel, hand drying them, and putting them away immediately. Little things that we can be better on. Doesn't have to be freaking huge, doesn't have to be the biggest thing, but small victories add up. And you have to love the small victories. Small victories add up, bro. Give yourself a congratulations on your small victories. You didn't wake up in a crappy mood today. Usually you might wake up in a shitty mood. You might not want to do anything, but you didn't do that today. Small victories. Don't wait for someone else to tell you you're doing a good job. It's You'll be waiting for a real long time. You'll be waiting for a real long time, bro. Don't wait for anyone else to tell you you're doing a good job. And even when it seems like you're not, someone sees you, bro. Somebody sees you. Prayer without work is dead. Faith without work is dead. And this isn't about being religious. This is about being real. You can talk about it all damn day. We can sit here and talk about these things every single day, but if we don't put in any work, nothing will get done. I used to do something that would piss off my managers because I was still growing as a man in the kitchen. I was still growing as an individual in the kitchen. And sometimes your front of house manager does not have full awareness of what's going on. So they're rushing because people are rushing them. The guests are rushing them. They're rushing the servers. So now everyone is feeling rushed, right? And the front of house manager would come to the window and they would say, where's the food? How long on this, that, and the third? Da, da, da. Like you, if you've ever worked in the kitchen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I, being the smart ass that I am, I would turn around and I would yell at the food. Oh, it would piss them off royally. I would turn around. This is me working on a fry station. I would turn around with the fries in the oil and yell at them and say, cook faster. Click, click, click. Like I would do that and it would piss them off royally. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to move any faster than I can. MyTreeTreasure.com. More than likely he will. Sure. I guess when I'm done with this, I can check that out. Um, yeah, I guess. But you made me lose train of thought. Damn, I lost it. That's a good one. I lost it. Either way, you know what, Nicole? You're right. You're very right. And that's, I think, to expand on what you just said, what she said is honey catches more flies than vinegar. But there was another saying that I've heard before that a bee cannot convince a fly that honey is sweeter. Same type of analogy, just different wording. But a bee cannot convince a fly that honey is sweeter. So what I do and the things that make me happy might not be the same things that make you happy. And I can't convince you of that. So, me being a good person, me trying to bring happiness and joy, me simply giving those vibes off, I can't convince you that it's better to do that. You have to witness it on your own. You got to witness it on your own. You have to. You have to. And being a kind person doesn't cost you anything. If anything, it's the most freeing thing ever. Just be nice, right? The next time somebody's upset with you, don't do it in a sarcastic way or patronizing way in order to piss them off. Don't do that. But the next time someone's upset with you, just let them know that you see and you agree with them that they are upset. There might not be anything that you can do in that moment to make them feel better, and for that, I apologize. But I don't want you to go away from this situation feeling like you wasn't heard. We just maybe didn't agree on it. I'm telling you, it will dilute the situation a ton. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it'll dilute the situation a ton, bro. Like it doesn't cost anything to be a good person. I think people take the easy route, hating people and hating things and just being grumpy is easy. "Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm so upset at everything and everyone." It's tiring, bro. It's very tiring. Being a good guy isn't easy either, but it's worth it. That's one thing I tell my kid. Being a good man is hard work. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Uh, I appreciate you guys. Definitely appreciate you guys. It is about that time for me to wrap it up here. Um, oh no. Oh man. I did want to listen to, I'm gonna do this video. There's a video by a guy named Ben Palmer. I'm gonna record the video and I'll post it on the channel. He's hilarious. And what he does is he makes people who feel some type of way hear what they sound like, and they don't always like that. Never argue with a fool because the person watching won't be able to tell the difference. You know who I heard that from? I heard that from Jay-Z when I was a kid. Jay-Z said it in I forgot what verse it was, but he said that. Never argue with a fool because someone watching can't tell who's who. Thank you. You can't tell the difference. And just think about that. Just think about that. Now I'm arguing with a fool. I'm a fool too. Man, listen, you guys are great. You guys are great. I love these lives. I love this, man. Thank you for tuning in. This lunch break was been good. I actually need to get something to eat. Hopefully you did. This Monday is going to be a good start to the week, man. I believe that. Valentine's Day is coming up. So you got a loved one. You need to start now if you didn't start planning already. Get your stuff, get your chocolates, your candies, your teddy bears, all of that. Do what you got to do and get back to having a way better day, y'all. Peace.